Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel for everything Arsenal and everything football. Thanks for being here. I hope you're all doing well. And welcome to the match reaction and player ratings for Arsenal's 3-0 victory over Newcastle. A must-win game, and we've managed to get the W. WSL is here with me again to have the player ratings and the match reaction. How are you?
I'm good.
After that performance, even better?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, what a performance that was.
Did you expect a 3-0 win, or was that a bit too much?
I think it was a bit too much when I looked at it initially. I looked at the Crystal Palace performance again, and I thought we'd be lucky to get a 2-1 win maybe, but I mean, they proved me wrong, which is all I ask for.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's J90. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I made the time. I'm here.
Awesome. I mean, after Pepe didn't come on, I expected you not to come on.
Yeah,
Like,
you need to come on earlier, bro. You need to be able to get warmed up in the game.
Sorry, I was busy with people.
like Pepe, yeah, come on earlier. Are you and yourself, or was it what you expected from the game?
I thought first half we didn't do very well. We couldn't break them down, but in the second half we came into our own, and once Partey put that ball in through Aubameyang, broke the lines, we looked unstoppable from there.
Yeah, true. As I said the other time, I'll get the picture on sometime when I put the poll and people actually voted Aubameyang to the bench. I was like, wow, okay. I was really surprised. But yeah, so as usual, lineup reaction. First, I'll start with the WSL. What did you make of the lineup? I'll put it on screen very soon. What did you make of it?
Obviously, I was very happy that Tierney was back in the squad. I saw yesterday that he was available to be picked, so I was 100% saying that he should be starting. And I think Partey starting was a big boost, like for morale. I think a lot of the fans are excited that Partey started. And to be honest, I actually was quite shocked that Aubameyang started. I actually was one of the people who voted for him to be dropped. But I guess we'll get into it later, but he definitely proved me wrong. But yeah, the initial lineup was I was a bit skeptical, kind of. I was kind of wondering why Cedric was playing, and like, I wondered why there was no Maitland-Niles on the bench and that kind of thing. But overall, it was a good starting 11.
Yeah, how about you, AJ? Your mic is muted.
I thought did that again. Yeah, I thought Bellerin was started instead of Cedric, but I thought Cedric looked really good today. I thought instead of his place, like down that right hand side, Cedric was actually running at the defenders, whereas Bellerin cuts inside and makes the pass inwards. That was one thing I noticed with Cedric doing very well. Another thing, Partey obviously very good to see him starting, and the youngsters as well, Saka, Aubameyang, and Lacazette, Martinelli obviously being on the bench as well.
Yeah, any surprises in your WSL that you wanted to be on and wasn't started?
Maybe Martinelli, but I understood because obviously with you just come back from a bit of an injury, so you don't want to risk it with him. But on the whole, I was quite happy with it. Yeah, maybe Elneny for Xhaka, maybe.
WSL.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that Elneny could have started. I mean, he had an injury last week, so I'm not fully shocked that he didn't start, and I agree with the Martinelli one as well. But in terms of players that I expected to play, I wasn't too shocked now.
He had an injury. Where do these Arsenal players pick up all these random injuries? It's never on the pitch. I wonder why they usually pick up these random injuries. But yeah, the poll that I was looking for, that one. Let me remove it. 70% said get Aubameyang.
I think you needed dropping them.
Yeah, I was one of the people who voted. I mean,
I voted to drop him.
Yeah. So
there's no way you can score a goal if you've dropped him.
Yeah,
there's no way you can score a goal if you've dropped him. So for me, I was so happy he started again, and clearly, I think that's one of his better performances recently, and I'm very happy he got that goal. So next time, AJ, would you drop him again?
No. You keep playing him now. Now he's got his goals. You have to play him now.
So sell Martinelli immediately. Sell Martinelli. So yeah, that was our lineup. I was really worried by the way we started the game. Again, it was very boring. 45 minutes gone. As I said on the other channel, like the first 45 minutes, I don't remember the first time we scored a goal in the first 20 minutes. It's been such a long time.
Yeah.
We always start the game very slow. And I was actually very surprised today. We actually got the goal very early. Usually expect it like in the 70th minute or something, but it came early this time around. That is the same way we played Newcastle last season. It was 0-0 at halftime. And then I think in the 50th minute, we took the lead and scored 4 times. So that first half WSL, seriously, how was it for you?
The first half, I was predicting a 0-0 or possibly even a 1-0 to Newcastle. I thought they might be able to nick it. It was just poor again. And Gary Lineker actually said, not Gary Lineker, sorry, Gary Neville. He said at half time that Arsenal need to improve in the second half. And I don't know how many times I've had to say that already this season, that we need to make an improvement in the second half. But yeah, the first half was poor. I mean, Xhaka once again put a decent few tackles in. I think he's not going to get the credit that he deserves today. I think Xhaka was pretty decent. And I'd also even argue that Tierney wasn't the best player in the first half. I thought he gave the ball away a few times, and he wasn't really going forward as much as I wanted him to. But I think without Partey in that first half, we probably could have been 1-0 down. He still controlled the midfield even when we weren't performing too well. So yeah, I think he makes a massive difference.
And you, AJ, the first half, boring again.
Yeah, I expected it because when I saw the first half we saw against Newcastle, even Crystal Palace, we take our time to settle into the game, to get into it. It's similar. It reminded me of the game we played against Newcastle this time last year when we beat them 4-0. The first half we were so dry, nothing. And then second half, when we get that first goal, we really come into the light and then we make our game our own. And I think we did that again today very well. So I expected it. But again, the first half wasn't good enough. We have to improve, get an early goal just to boost the confidence. But we found a way in the end. And it's good that Aubameyang got into the score sheet and Partey dominated that midfield because we needed to dominate the midfield today because they played with 4 forwards. And they only had 2 out-and-out centre mids. And we needed to dominate. And Xhaka and Partey did that very well.
Yeah, clearly Callum does not like Bellerin. He says Cedric played really well. You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree as well. I think Cedric today, I think he should keep Bellerin out of the team. I don't think Arteta will drop Bellerin because I think Bellerin is basically his son. But Cedric, he was really good. And the one thing that I like about Cedric more than Bellerin is whenever Bellerin goes forward, it always takes him so long to get back to his position, which usually leaves us open, especially against counter-attacking teams like City and like Tottenham especially.
Yeah.
Where Cedric, he can go forward, put in a cross or do something along those lines, and then he'll always be back in his position whenever it pans back to that area. And I think he and Saka were excellent together today. I think their link-up play was amazing. I think they communication was really good. And I just don't see that with Bellerin. Last week, Bellerin kept passing the ball to Pepe when Pepe was outnumbered. And it just, the communication wasn't really there. So I think if we're being honest, Bellerin should be dropped for Cedric for a while. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
Okay, and AJ90, I've talked to you for 4 months now with Nathaniel of On Causes. And I know you guys wanted Niles to replace Bellerin. What has happened to Niles? I mean, he's been left out completely today.
I don't know. I think it was a tactical decision we heard to leave him out. Tactical. We've had that many times with many players. I would give Cedric a go, like WSL said. I would give him a bit of a few games, but again, with Arteta, he'll probably stick with Bellerin, and that's disappointing. I'd like to see Cedric get a few games. I hope he does, and let's see what he can do. Because going forward, as I said earlier, he's very good.
Yeah, okay. WSL at halftime, did you want any subs?
Yeah, I wanted Aubameyang off for Martinelli. I actually checked Twitter, and a lot of people
you
wanted
should be
Aubameyang
ashamed
off.
on yourself.
A lot of people on Twitter wanted Aubameyang off the pitch for Martinelli. I mean, let's not gloss over that.
He missed the sitter.
Let's not gloss over that miss. Right, Aubameyang played amazingly today, but he could have had a hat trick if he scored that open goal. Exactly. And I mean, a lot of people were rinsing him for that. So I'm happy that he scored the goal to kind of make up for what he did. But yeah, I wanted Aubameyang off for Martinelli personally. And I also wanted to see El Neni on the pitch, whether it was for Xhaka or maybe I was even thinking make a free at the back and try and like be a bit more counter-attacking. But yeah, I mean, Martinelli was the main one, but I mean, Arteta made the right decision to keep Aubameyang on, so you've got to praise him for that.
Are you talking about AJ? Are you talking about the one that hit the post?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was that a clear
that,
chance though?
It was, dude, that was so clear. It was like an open goal. It was just across the goal. I mean, we kind of took the piss out of Andy Carroll.
Score.
Yeah, we took the mick out of Andy Carroll for missing that chance against us in like the first half, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he had a goalkeeper to get past, whereas Aubameyang didn't have any goalkeeper to get past. It was just him and the goal.
Well, that would have been brave. Like taking off Aubameyang at halftime, you people would have been very.
Come on, you have to score from there. Come on, you have to score.
Yeah, you've got to score that. Come on, he's got to score that.
I need to watch it again. I felt like he was stretching a bit.
I think the worst thing is if he did score that, he'd have had a hat trick.
Let's see. Like, let me know in the chat.
I'll put the banner down. The banner.
Do you think?
Banner.
I remove the banner.
Okay. Yeah, it's
like. Do you think he should have scored that?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you guys think he should have scored that? As I look for the damn banner, I have so many banners over here. I mean, let me know in the chat, because for me, I thought he was kind of stretching a bit. I don't know. So 100% WSL, you think he should have scored that?
Yeah, I mean, like Ray's saying, let's make it positive. So I'm not gonna stick on this, but you can't gloss over this miss. Like, if Aubameyang today missed that and didn't go on to score 2 goals, he would be like, his career at Arsenal might have been over at that point. The fans would have been absolutely like berserk with him. But yeah, I think this just shows Aubameyang this season. He goes from missing that chance to scoring the first goal that he scored. Like, it just shows how poor he can be, but to how excellent he can be within like a matter of minutes.
Yeah. Well, okay. The crew has spoken. AJ90 definitely expects him to score. Ray 2 in the chat says it was a sitter. So you're crying for him to be subbed off, but the second half starts and Thomas Partey drives through the midfield and gives a very good pass to Aubameyang. AJ90. What are you thinking there? He's gonna miss another one again?
He mishit it, Aubameyang, because Darlow thought it was gonna go the one way, and then he mishit it.
Yeah.
And then it went the front post. It was so confusing. When I first saw it, I thought he cleanly hit it, but he didn't. He got lucky, Aubameyang, with that one. But Partey, brilliant ball over the top, cut the Newcastle lines in half, the midfield defense, and after that, Aubameyang just puts it in the corner.
Oh, come on, AJ. We've not had that many wins this season. Let's take that as a W for us. Let's say meant it was a good finish.
I thought it was lucky still.
W, sir? Lucky finish?
Well, the Partey pass. I mean, we've been waiting for the Partey to get started, and I'm starting to be to think it's going to be starting soon. Like that, what a pass! Like what a pass that was! Like, we've been saying and we've been asking people like Xhaka and El Neni to do the same thing, and they haven't done it, which is why we brought Partey in. And this is exactly what he does. He defends amazingly well, and then pulls off a pass like this. With the goal, I was actually screaming for him to put it on his right foot. I don't know why he keeps cutting on his left when he isn't left-footed. He's more right-footed. But I mean, I didn't really get a look at the goal because I was I was too busy celebrating, if I'm being honest. But on replays, I think it was slightly lucky. I mean, you can see the way that he lands after taking the shot that he kind of was a bit off balance. So maybe it was slightly lucky. But I mean, it's Aubameyang, he's a world-class finisher at the ball. We know this, so I don't expect anything less from a prime Aubameyang, really.
Yeah, so I usually watch the games with Chelsea fans, and I usually check Twitter. I have a couple of Tottenham fans and stuff, and every time Saka has the ball in Smith Rowe, they're like, "These guys are very good," and that makes you feel a bit good, because most of our players, they usually don't create that kind of amazement for other people. So Saka, Smith Rowe, they got the second goal. Yeah, Smith Rowe, very, very beautiful work on the left side, HJ90.
Definitely. I thought they were very good, the youngsters, and it just goes to show that it doesn't always have to be the senior players that do the very good things. And we saw this at the start of the season where Arteta kept playing all these older players and thought they were going to get him out of this trouble. And when we did eventually in the Chelsea game go with the younger teams, we did very well. And Emile Smith Rowe down that left-hand side, he got past one or two and then slid it in for Saka on a plate, and he just couldn't miss from there. Very good.
WSL, was that your favorite goal?
I think the first one's probably my favourite goal, just because like Partey finally gets an involvement and Aubameyang gets an actual good goal for once. But yeah, Smith Rowe, I mean, they're calling him the Croydon De Bruyne. I mean, I don't know how far you want to go with that. I'm not going to go with that name just yet. I don't want to gas him up just yet, but he's definitely looking like a wonderful player. Like for me, it's his footwork. I mean, when he came up against the fullback, I don't know his name, but he came up against the fullback in the one-on-one, and like his footwork, he was so quick with it. I think the defender just kind of lost track where the ball actually was, which gave Smith Rowe like a second to be able to pass it into Saka. And we've seen him do this like a few times this season. He did it against West Brom. Like him and Saka are just, you can tell that they're like really good friends and that they train together and that they both care for the club, because the way they link up is just like, I haven't seen it in Arsenal for a good few years, like the way these players link up. But what I will say is I find it slightly upsetting that we do have to rely on the young players and that we can't rely on the older players. Like when Willian came in, I expected him to do more than he's doing. And, Pepe, I'm expecting a bit more from. But, let's stay positive. And the youngsters were excellent, like especially Smith Rowe, I think. And for me, he was my man of the match again, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, is it, AJ, is it a good thing that they're our best players, or is it worrying for you that they're our best players?
You could look at it at two sides. You could look at it one side and think our future is really bright with these youngsters, and obviously in a few years they'll cost a lot of money. So if we do want to sell them, move on and rebuild our team, we can do that as well. But look on the other side and think the older players who are earning way more money aren't getting the job done for us. And I think that's where a few of the worries do come in. So it's a bit of half-half on that one.
Yeah, he should be the one getting 350k now that Ozil has gone. They should be the ones getting the 350k. And then the third goal, Aubameyang again. Was the ball out to WSL?
As an Arsenal fan, no. As a neutral, yes, it was definitely out. I mean, I think they said that they didn't have Hawkeye or something like that, so they couldn't actually tell whether it was out or not. So it was kind of up to the linesman. So I think we were very lucky. It might have been in, but if it was by like probably a good few millimeters, if that. But I mean, I'm not going to complain. The Newcastle fans. I doubt the Newcastle fans will complain, because I think they expected it. Like they knew they were going to lose. And I mean, if the Chelsea and Man United fans want to complain, then they can. Like I'm not bothered about it. We scored the goal, and that's all that matters. So
United fans want to complain, and they scored a goal against West Ham when the ball was fully out. I mean, United fans.
I thought that was indefinitely.
They got a penalty after the game had already ended, so United just agreed.
Please don't let them win the league. It will make us sick, please. So
but yeah, I mean, I think that just kind of proves Cedric's talent, though. Like Arteta said that, like going forward, Cedric's the best. Proven. Yeah, he's the best out of Bellerin, Maitland-Niles, and Cedric.
Attacking
going forward,
specifically.
Yeah. So. Like, for me, if Cedric's the best attacking fullback and he's also able to get back and defend really well, which is what he did today, why is Bellerin still starting over him? That's my question. Like, why did we buy Cedric for him to play like 3 times a season? I don't really get that, but yeah, Cedric, it was a great cross as well, straight into Aubameyang's path. So,
if he missed that, then it would have been very worrying. I was really hoping Lacazette would get to the end of that. I really wanted him to score 2 to keep his run going. But anyway, Aubameyang 2 goals. And then he was taken off immediately, but we'll come back to that. So that was the match reaction. You said your best goal was the first one, and you, G90?
The first goal?
The first goal. That was your best goal?
Yeah, I thought that was a really good goal. As I said, Partey, the way he played that pass was exquisite. That's what you pay £45 million for, to turn a game on its coin and flip it like that. And that was really good. And I thought Aubameyang, he did what he does best, and that was clinical of him.
Some teams in the Premier League, not mentioning any names, they spend 90 million on players that can't even do that. Chelsea.
Yeah. Sure. Let's not mention. We had it. WSL. We did have to mention it. We had it right away. AJ with the stats in the chat. Thomas Partey. Yeah. The stats in the chat. Maybe it could be a rapper. Thomas Partey versus Newcastle. Touches 67. Completed passes 55. Passing accuracy 94.8. Ball recoveries 9. Interceptions 3. Clearances 1. And assist 1. And for Smith Rowe, I was actually surprised he kind of started today. I thought maybe after not showing up against Crystal Palace, he'd be tempted to bring back Pepe or Willian, but thankfully not. Emil Smith-Rowe versus Newcastle, 82 minutes. Played 1 assist, 59 touches, 4 key passes, 48 passes, 87.3 accuracy. Well, since you put that in the chat, what do you make of that, CJ?
Again, Smith-Rowe, a really good player for us. I will go into more in the player ratings, what my rating will be. But again, he creates the chances, and he Mesut who? We've not missed Mesut since he's come into the team, and we've won a lot of games, 5 out of 6 since he's come into the team. So long may it continue for Smith-Rowe. I'll give him the number 10 as well.
Yeah, I agree. He should be getting that number 10 jersey.
Funny you say that West Ham comment, and there was a West Ham fan in the chat for Shiji. Thank you for being here. Check them out on Hammer's chat. Yeah, he clearly understands what I'm saying. The ball was out for Fernandes that day, crossed the ball to Pogba. I think of the edge, the ball was in. Yeah, as long as the ball is in just a bit, that's in. But against West Ham against United, the ball was completely out. But yeah, either way, I think would have won anyway, so it didn't really matter. I just wanted the goals for goal difference. So let's get into the player ratings, AJ, the one you're waiting for. Player ratings time, and obviously the first one, Leno as usual.
Another clean sheet. That's what we want to see. I think since the Chelsea game, he's kept a lot of 4 clean sheets. Again, they've not been high quality teams, but still a clean sheet's a clean sheet. And I think that's down to the fact that teams haven't attacked us and they've sat back, not done a lot. And we've took advantage of that, swipe teams away at times, but struggled at times. And I think Leno's hadn't had much to do since the Chelsea game, to be honest. And for this game, I'll give him a 7. Did what he had to do.
7. Lisa?
I mean, we haven't conceded a goal in 5 games. Yes, you look at the opponents and you maybe say they're not the best, but you can only play what's in front of you. Every team has to play West Brom and Newcastle. So if we're going out here and getting clean sheets and Tottenham are drawing with Newcastle, that's just what happens. That's football. So for me, to have 5 clean sheets out of 5 games, and then to obviously win 3-1 against Chelsea, Leno was a massive part of at least 3 of those games. And by massive part, I mean, saved us from possibly losing those games. So again, I'm going to give him an 8. I think Leno, he didn't have a lot to do, but you can only rate him on what he did do. And he made the saves. He had good distribution. So yeah, I give him an
8. 8. Okay. Probably... He didn't have nothing to do, literally. He didn't even make a save. Yeah. I mean, I hate playing Newcastle and the likes of Burnley just because they literally defend for 90 minutes. They had 3 strikers on the pitch and they were defending for 90 minutes. So very, very boring. Plus us, we don't score that many goals these days. And that is why it turns out to be a boring game every time we face those kind of teams. And we haven't even played Burnley yet, right? Oh, goodness me. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be
we played Burnley once this season, but we don't talk about that game.
We've got the Croydon De Bruyne.
Away from home, when you go to their place, it's going to be 0-0. It's going to be 0-0 for a while. I'm hoping we get
that's not going to be a fun game.
Someone. I'm hoping we'd have bought someone by that day. The next on WSL, Cedric.
I saw a comment from Ray saying that he thinks Cedric grasped his chance today, and I completely agree. I'm very surprised Cedric actually played. I was expecting Bellerin, and then I saw Bellerin was out, so I was expecting Niles. So Cedric, for me, was a very shock, in placement to the team, but he did really well. Again, him and Saka linked up really well, especially for the 3rd goal. It was a great cross into Aubameyang, whether it was out or not, it doesn't really matter. He gets the assist, so he's not going to be complaining. And yeah, I think for me, Cedric has to start from now on until he starts. When he performs bad, you drop him. But for now, he's for me the best right back we have. So you've got to play him. But I'll give Cedric a 8 today.
The thing with these players, though, why I was even scared of starting Tierney today? We know this Cedrics and Pablo Mari. 2 games, they can't play 2 games without an injury. That's what I always fear. Yeah. You literally can't start Cedric. If we had a game on Thursday, you wouldn't start him because it's so easy for him to get another injury. So you have to protect these players. So, AJ, what did you give him?
Cedric 8, same as WSL. I thought he was much better than Bellerin today because he's a Premier League proven player. So you know what you're going to get from Cedric. He's said to be our best attacking fullback today. I didn't think Tierney did as well today, mainly because I thought they did really well blocking the crosses today, Newcastle, on the wings. So we had to go through more the central parts today at times in this game when we were attacking them instead of the counter-attack, because the first goal came from the counter-attack. So they were a bit more exposed then. But Cedric, I thought, again, attacking-wise, very good. Coming back when he had to was, again, very good. So I'll give him an 8.
An 8, probably I'd agree with you guys. Better than what Bellerin has been. And Niles, I'm very worried for Niles. For me, at the start of the season, I would have sold him to Wolves. I usually didn't like him.
I wasn't sure on it.
I didn't like him anywhere at that time. 20 million, I would have taken it from Wolves. And now I'm very worried for him because now Cedric seems to have gotten that spot again. So, yeah. I'd give him 8 like you guys. The next one is going to be Rob Holding, WSL. Signed a new contract, of course.
I mean, I think all the defenders, bar Tierney and Cedric, due to them being fullbacks so they can go forward, so mainly Louise and Holding, they didn't really have anything to do.
Yeah.
I think they were probably initially slightly worried that they had to go against Andy Carroll, but I think he was shut down really well by Partey. I think a lot of people are going to gloss over the fact that Partey most of the time was stopping the balls into Carroll, which made Carroll virtually useless. And whenever Carroll did get a chance, he was instantly locked off by Holding and Louise. I think there was a time very near the beginning of the first half, Holding made a really good challenge in the box, which stopped a possible goal. But yeah, Holding, I'll give him a 7 simply because, like Louise, he didn't really have anything to do. But again, another clean sheet. And like you said, he signed a new contract. So hopefully that's given him a slight boost to play well again.
Clean sheet magnet, AJ. Clean sheet magnet, right?
Clean sheet magnet. I agree with all the points WSL mentioned, to be honest. So another clean sheet, which is obviously very good. He didn't have loads to do. Newcastle didn't pose a threat. They played with 4 strikers, so you thought they would do more. But we contained them very well. That was obviously down to Xhaka, Partey doing very well in their positions. That means the defenders, the centre-backs, David Luiz and Rob Holding didn't have to do as much. But still, when they had to do something, they were secure. They did it well. But Rob Holding, I thought he was the better out of him and Luiz, so I'd give him an 8.
An 8, okay. Probably 8 is a bit. I don't know. Since we kept a clean sheet, I'd give him a 7. I think 8 is a bit too high because literally had nothing to do. Some of the crosses they put in were terrible. I was very scared every time they got a corner. But
Shelby did really bad on the set piece.
Yeah, I don't know if
I'm surprised he was even on the corners, to be honest. I think Almiron's probably a better corner taker because he takes their free kicks, I'm quite sure. Or even Wilson probably could have done a better job than Shelby, but...
So Holding didn't have much to do, but as WSL said, you can only beat what is in front of you. So I think I'd give him a 7. The next one is David Lou. Yeah, the next one is David Luiz, AJ, and as you give David Luiz a rating, let me know what is happening to Gabriel because now he's starting to sit on the bench every day.
Look, I think one of the reasons we're going with, obviously we went with Marie and Holding, now we're going with Luiz and Holding. Gabriel's finding it difficult to come back into the side. I think that's a testament to how good our current centre-backs are doing because Gabriel obviously won our player of the month 3 times in a row. So that shows how he was in the side. Now he's being kept out by the likes of David Luiz and Rob Holding. So they're doing quite well. And I think I would agree with it in a sense that you would want to continue with the likes of Holding, Luiz, and then Marie Holding because it's working at the moment. But I think in the next 1 or 2 games, if it starts to go sideways, I would start to put Gabriel back into the side. I think in this FA Cup game, I'll definitely put Gabriel back. And I think it's hard to displace these players at the moment. But I think for David Luiz for this game, I'll give him a 7.
A 7. Are you hearing this, WSL? We are so good. Gabriel cannot get into the team. Pepe cannot get into the team.
5.
Yeah, I think with Gabriel, I mean, we could have Van Dijk right now, and if Holding and Louise or Holding and Mari are getting clean sheets, it's going to be hard for any defender to get in the team for any team because you're getting clean sheets, which a defender's main job is don't lose and don't concede. That's their 2 main jobs.
If they're doing their job, why would you bring Gabriel back in? I know exactly. How he is. Why would you change that? You want to keep consistency.
I think with Gabriel as well, apparently he had COVID or he was exposed to it, but maybe a lot of the, again, I'm going to bring back Havertz because I like bringing up Havertz because it's funny, but a lot of the Chelsea fans like to say due to him having COVID, a lot of, like, he got hit quite hard by it. Like, he's, you know, struggling to breathe and stuff. And like they are common symptoms of COVID and stuff. So maybe Gabriel's going through something slightly similar. Maybe it's taking him a little longer to get to full fitness. But all I can say, at least he's on the bench. You know, at least if say Holding or David Luiz is playing poor, we can just bring him on. We know Gabriel's going to come on and do a job. So that doesn't worry me. But Luiz, again, I didn't really see any of the long passes from Luiz, and I am beginning to think this is Arteta, like, stopping him from doing that.
That's true.
But I'd give him a 7 with Holding. I can't really say there was a difference between them, so I'll just give them both a 7.
The thing with Premier League football, the moment you miss one game because of a red card or because of illness, it's usually so hard to come back and get your spot. That's why I was very... Leno was very lucky to come back and get his spot right away. He would have easily been told Martinez has now taken over, because that's what happens to every player. The likes of Havertz came back and they found the likes of Mount are playing really well, and they sit on the bench. For us, the same way with Gabriel and even Partey. If El Nino's playing well, maybe Partey would have been on the bench for us too, but it kind of feels to me like the likes of Gabriel are being punished for having COVID. I think he's still our best defender, so I'd definitely try to bring him back anyway. But yeah, as long as you're keeping clean sheets, I'd stay with him. So 7, just like you guys. The next one I'll start with you, AJ, the man himself, Tierney.
Kieran Tierney, my captain. Best left back in the league. I thought today...
in the world,
exactly.
Better than
Davies. I don't think he had the bestest game today like he has done in the last few games. But I think that was mainly down to Newcastle being very good in closing down the way he crosses the ball, in the way that he tries to cut inside and then he goes around the back. That didn't sort of work for him today. So in some senses, because of how good Darlow was in goal, he came out quickly. He knew exactly what Tierney was trying to do. So in some ways, he was limited today. But for defensively, everything he had to do in that aspect was perfect. You couldn't expect much more. But again, it was one of the quieter nights for Tierney going forward. So I'll give him a 7 today.
7. WSL, do you think he was kind of trying to protect himself from the injury he had?
I really hope he was, because he has just gotten back from whatever injury he had, and he is, like, undoubtedly, like, our best player, I think, right now. I think not even just how he performs, but what he brings to the team in terms of morale and stuff. Like, we played against Palace, who played very similar to Newcastle. I think the only difference between Palace and Newcastle was Eberechi Eze. I think that's genuinely the only difference that I saw between the two teams. So I'm thinking, how can we go from drawing 0-0 with Palace to winning 3-0 against Newcastle? And I'm thinking the reason why is Tierney. I think Tierney just brings that, like, extra bit of morale, and that kind of like when they're going at half time, I think Tierney's the one, like, huddling them up and telling them, you know, we need to go out there and win this game, which again, for me, is why Tierney should be captain. But Today he was a bit silent. I don't think that was fully down to him. I do think that Newcastle shut him down a little bit. But yeah, I'd give him a 7 again. You know, defensively, he was good. Nothing came down that left side in terms of Newcastle's attack. Like, he shut them all down. And then going forward, I think he was being slightly cautious, but that's okay. You know, if he's wary of his injury, then I'd rather him be wary than do something stupid and get himself injured again.
Would you give him a 7, high as a 7?
Yeah, I'd give him. Yeah, he gets a 7 today. I think, like, it was a great performance. So even if he didn't perform particularly well, I'm going to give you a high rating. But again, yeah, Tierney, again, you know, at the end of the day, he is a defender. You know, you got to remember that. And he kept a clean sheet as a defender. So if I'm going to give Holding and Luiz a 7,
right.
You can only give Tierney a 7 as well.
Please, Arsenal, keep on winning so that AJ90 and WSL can stay this happy and give more positive ratings. The next one, let's go into midfield. Granit Xhaka.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no sorry about that. So Xhaka, I still want him gone, and I'm going to keep saying this until the day he leaves. But Xhaka, again today, like Crystal Palace, was underrated for me. I see a lot of people praising Aubameyang and Smith Rowe and Saka, but Xhaka has been decent at best. You know, he made some great tackles in the first half, and especially in the first 20 minutes, I saw him trying to supply Aubameyang and Tierney on the left side. Like, he put a good few of those left-footed passes that he's quite good at, like, through into Aubameyang. And I think it's slightly unfortunate that Aubameyang just wasn't on job at that time. Like, I think if he was getting them passes to Aubameyang later on in the game, we could have scored even more. But yeah, Xhaka's he's been good. I think he's been quite quiet as well. Like, Xhaka's usually a player who'll come out after the game and start speaking, and he'll also do something stupid in the game, or like he'll make himself like known. I think especially against Burnley, he made himself known by choking one of the Burnley players, but he kept himself quiet today, and he didn't give anything like he didn't give away any stupid free kicks. I don't even think he got a yellow card, which is really surprising for Granit Xhaka. So I'll give him I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7.
I think these stats back up exactly what WSL was trying to say in terms of he was underrated, but he's a player that, as we all know, can be a liability, as another comment says there, that he can be that player. And I don't like Granit Xhaka at all. I think he's a spine of Arsene Wenger players we need to get rid of. Ozil's leaving. Mustafi looks like he's leaving, whether that's in the summer. Bellerin and Xhaka are the other two really need to get rid of. And again, today and in the last few games, he's looked decent. And hopefully someone like Partey next to him will help him and make him a bit more better, try and push him to his limit. And his limit isn't a lot. But yeah, I think he was decent today, did the job. And for him today, I'll give him an 8.
An 8, okay. I mean, are we saying drop Partey for the next game and play Xhaka?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No.
But is he the best partner for him?
I think El Neni is.
I think El Neni's better, yeah.
I think El Neni works better with Partey, especially what we did in the Man United game. I think it worked very well with how we're trying to play.
Yeah. I don't know about El Neni, like the way, but in a game like against Newcastle, I want more attack in the middle. I don't want two kind of defensive players. And El Neni.
Xhaka's mostly backwards and sideways anyway.
I think Ceballos was meant to play today. I know that they said that he was like injured or something, which kind of says to me that he was meant to start, which is why you're telling us this information. I wouldn't even argue Partey. I'd say he was going to put Partey and Ceballos as the two midfielders, and then maybe bring off Partey for Xhaka late on, instead of, like, obviously he brought on El Neni, and I was thinking he might bring Xhaka on, but yeah, okay. I don't really know.
I probably agree with AJ and give him a 7. The next one, Thomas Partey, WSL. How happy are you to have him back?
I mean, like, we haven't seen much of him. Like, a lot of people are saying, oh, he's not a good player or this and that. And it's like, well, no, we just haven't seen a lot of Partey yet. He played a few games when we were in, like, relegation form. And even then he was performing pretty good. He was easily the best player, or one of the best players. He then got injured against Tottenham. Worst time to get injured because Harry Kane went and scored. But, like, he's come back, which is what we've all been waiting for. We've paid 45 million quid for him, and I think we're getting that. We're getting that value back. That pass today to Aubameyang, that's what you pay 45 million pound for.
Class.
Like, it's again, some teams pay more money for less. Like, we paid 72 million for Pepe, and we ain't even getting that. But, like, Partey is just incredible. Like, again, his defensive work today was amazing. He was winning headers. He was holding the ball up until players could assist him. He was chipping the ball over some of the Newcastle players. Like, he ran the midfield. I think Newcastle had like 4 midfielders, and Partey basically ran it by himself. Like, if you can't sit here and tell me that a man who can run a midfield by himself against 4 people isn't world class. Like, he's world class. He's one of the best in his position, I think.
By the way, not 100% fit, not 100%.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he only played 60 minutes, like 60, 70 minutes because he wasn't fit yet. So I can't wait to see this guy at 100% fitness. And I will mention this. He had a long shot and it was awful. But what I will say is that the idea was there. I think he tried to say, look, it's 0-0. We need to break the deadlock. I'm just going to go for it. And I think that was a bit of a, like, so just someone do it, like someone just go for it. And I think that's slightly what Aubameyang looked at. Like, Partey played the pass into him. Aubameyang just said, screw it, I'm going to, like, hit it. And he scored. So maybe he took a leaf out of Partey's book. Those shots. Partey, he gets an 8 just quickly on the rating. I think he was good. I just don't think the midfield, like, I can't give a 9 because only one player gets a 9 today for me. But he gets
that shot you mentioned, Tierney always has those kind of shots at least once every game too. I think even today or something. But at least they do try. But I don't know, man. I need these shows to be going on target. But yeah, let's see how it does in the next few games. They asked me that question of Dombele and Kante. I still think Partey is, if he plays every game, he's going to be the best of them. And
yeah, I think
Partey.
in terms of that, and Ndombele is at the top, but I think Partey is definitely going to be behind him or on level with him very, very soon.
Yeah, AJ.
My man of the match today, for you ran the midfield, dominated what you paid the money for, exactly what WSL said. My man of the match today, 9 for me. I would give Aubameyang it, but I thought, okay, one goal was a miss hit and the other goal was a tap in. I mean, if I was standing or Aubameyang was standing, I'm scoring that as well with Cedric's cross. But that's the thing with Aubameyang. If he doesn't score those 2 chances, let's say he missed a miss hit or he missed the 2 tap-ins, then you're all talking about a different story. But he did score the 2 goals, Aubameyang. But with Partey, world-class footballer, what we paid the money for, and can I keep it short? 9 for me.
WSL, does Partey remind you of SCN?
I don't like SEN since in that he was a Chelsea player, but he does slightly in certain areas remind me of Vieira. And the reason why I don't say all areas is because Vieira, I mean,
he's more of a leader, Vieira. I think
Vieira he'd also go and punch one of the other players for talking bad about him. So, Partey's not that kind of guy. But in terms of running midfield and keeping it on lock and like being able to pull off 1v4, like which is what he did today, because I think Xhaka really didn't help him as much as I expected him to. But yeah, like he just reminds me of that kind of player, like the general in the midfield, if you want to call it that.
AJ, you said you'd score that too?
No, Cedric's chance I probably would. I was talking about Cedric's one.
Okay, so
even the one Saka put into the box for Aubameyang, come on, that.
I think the first one, the one that he missed, I think anybody could score that.
We are looking for anyone right now.
I'm not even left-footed, and I could easily.
No, I play up front for Sunday League. I'm top scorer.
Okay, so so how much per month for if you sign you to Arsenal per week?
Per week, 350 grand.
I was going to say, knowing Arsenal, it would be 350 grand.
Arsenal would actually get 90k and give him 200k a week. Arsenal is just a team that is all over the place. So yeah, Partey, very, very good. Man of the match for AJ, 90. Okay, the next one. Oh wow, another one that is just every time I mention this guy's name, I just feel positivity. Saka.
Another Aston Villa.
Saka. Yeah, Saka, AJ 90 status with Xhaka.
Xhaka or Saka?
Yeah, Xhaka.
Saka. No, we were done with Xhaka a long time ago. This is Bukayo, the man himself.
Bukayo. Yeah, brilliant. Bukayo Saka, he's been brilliant this season, and actually not been brilliant all of this season, but recently he, again, with a lot of these players, really come to light. I think Arteta has made a bit more tactical freedom for them to go and do what they want with the likes of Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Saka being in the side, Lacazette, Aubameyang. I think including Saka, it's worked well for him to create a lot of chances for the team. And Smith Rowe really did well to put it on a plate for him to finish. Quite a good finish for Saka. Just has to get his foot around it and a good goal.
There's a time
Saka would be 8.
There's a time WSL Lacazette gave the ball to him and the shot was blocked. Do you think he should have taken it earlier?
I mean, with Saka,
just a good block.
Yeah, I was going to say it was more of just a really good block from the Newcastle player. I don't really think that's the main thing I'm looking at with Saka. What I'm looking at with Saka is his build-up for the 2 goals. I mean, he didn't really have much of an involvement in the first one because that was all Partey and Aubameyang. But the second goal especially, again, just like West Brom, just take out Lacazette from the West Brom goal and you've basically got the exact same thing. Smith Rowe doing all the work and Saka there with yes, it was an easy finish, but at the end of the day, you've got to finish him. And he did that. But yeah, especially the third goal, again, him and Cedric linking up just amazingly. Like he knew exactly what he was doing. Cedric knew exactly what he was doing. And they were excellent. Saka, I'm just happy he got a goal. I mean, I love seeing him score because I'm sick of people saying that Greenwood's better or this person's better. Like, no, Saka is undoubtedly the best young player in the Premier League, whether you like it or not. And him scoring more is better because it just proves it. There's people who only look at goals and assists. So Saka, every time he gets a goal or an assist, I'm happy to see that. But he gets an 8 from me today.
Is he one of the reasons why you don't miss Ozil, as Fushizi asks in the chat?
I mean, I don't miss Ozil at all. I never have, to be honest. I think he didn't really add much
He's
to
been a
our team
waste.
for the last. Yeah, for the last. Don't get me wrong. The first few years, he was excellent. Like some of the moments Ozil produced, I'll never forget them. But recently, like the last 2 years, I forgot we even had him. Like I'm not even kidding. The only reason I remembered we had Ozil was because all the people asking for him to come back in. But Saka, he's just different. You know, Ozil's not Saka, and Saka's not Ozil. They're very different players, and I think Saka, I think he's taken his chances well. You know, he got the chance against Frankfurt under Unai Emery. Like I want to say that. Shout out Unai Emery for giving Smith Rowe, Martinelli, and Saka their debuts for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Without that man, we might not have ever seen these three play. So shout out to him. But yeah, ever since that Frankfurt debut when he scored that great goal, he's just been excellent. He's had his moments where he's been
wasn't
a bit.
it Freddie Ljungberg who gave Smith Rowe's Premier League debut against Norwich?
I think it was. Yeah, I think I know Emery gave him his just genuine like. Yeah, Emery gave Smith Rowe his first team debut, and then I think it was Ljungberg who gave him his Premier League debut.
In that Norwich game.
Yeah, I don't like that game. It was 2-2, dude. I don't like remembering.
He also asks, what's the real story behind Ozil? How long do you have? You can actually take 6 hours to do that. It would actually take 6 hours to just.
Honestly, I think in a few years the real story would come out.
Yeah, I see him. I see him writing.
There's a more deeper thing to it.
I see him writing a book about his time at Arsenal. To be honest, I think there's a lot behind that, and I think he can make a lot of money from it as well.
A book?
Has he not ended up from the 350 grand?
Well, exactly. You'd think the same with Wenger, don't you? I mean, he made a book, didn't he? So...
Yeah. The next one is Emil Smith Rowe.
Oh, what a player!
Croydon De Bruyne.
Better than him.
I wouldn't go.
I mean, you need to be compared to be compared to De Bruyne. De Bruyne's crosses every time he has the ball, just magnificent. So, is he giving you the vibes again, WSL? Giving you De Bruyne vibes?
I hate comparing Arsenal players to players like De Bruyne and other players like Salah and Van Dijk, but I mean, you know, he's looking excellent, and I'd actually even argue right now he's looking probably better than De Bruyne. And I don't mean this as in he's a better player. I don't mean he's a better player. I mean he's been better. I'm just saying right this second, you watch the two play. I think Smith Rowe's looking. First off, he's nicer to watch, and second off, I'd even argue he's producing more. Like again, his link up with Saka, his link ups with Aubameyang and Lacazette that he's been doing, he's just excellent. And I mean, he's my man of the match, so he gets a 9 from me. And all I can really say to Arteta and the Arsenal staff is give him that number 10 shirt because he is our new number 10. Definitely. He's our new player maker. He's our new creative midfielder. And the best thing about him is he can pop up with a goal whenever we need it. Like the Newcastle game before this one, he got the goal that we needed to win the game. So, yeah he's been excellent. So he gets a 9.
You give him a 9. Okay. The stats for creating a chance per 90 minutes is on top this season for Arsenal. I think it's 2.3 chances created per game in the 90 minutes that is played. And surprisingly, in that top 4, Nketiah is there. Can you actually imagine Nketiah is in the top 4 for Arsenal creating chances? He doesn't even play. So Lacazette is also in that list. So Smith Rowe to be number 1 in that list, absolutely incredible. AJ?
Again, Smith Rowe, he's doing everything we need from a number 10 to link up the play. He does the simple things very well. Passing the ball, passing and moving. That's what you're taught as a young age. And I think he does that very well. And he depicts it very well at a very high stage. And I think that's something we need from a player, and obviously coming through the academy, it's very special for us as well. For him, for his performance, I'll give him an 8.
An 8. I'd go for an 8. I think 9 is a bit too high. That's because there's a couple of times like I felt like he should have had the pass to Aubameyang and a couple of misplaced passes and short passes. So if he had a second assist or something, he would have gotten like a 9, but 8. But yeah, that's a WSL's man of the match. The next one, AJ, Aubameyang.
For me, 8.5 because I'll give Thomas Partey the man of the match. But again, he got the 2 goals.
Before you even go on, you see for this flip, I've already given him 2 marks.
Yeah, but he does these flips all the time, though.
It gets incredible. It just gets incredible every time.
It's just a normal thing for Aubameyang to do them flips. Whenever he scores, he does them flips. So we're used to him now. Obviously, last season, the season before, all used to his flips, but we've not seen him much this season, so it's nice for Aubameyang to get a brace, to see him back to his old self. And hopefully, this is the main thing, hope it continues. Because It's no good doing it in 1 game out of 10. You need to keep doing it, and that's what we need from Aubameyang now, to push on, and hopefully that's the catalyst.
He needs to start every game, though, right?
Yeah.
For anyone who didn't see, for anyone who had just joined the chat, this was the poll that I put out 4 days ago.
Are you still rubbing that in?
Yeah, I still want, because I was shocked with those results. 70% saying bench Aubameyang, 70 bench Aubameyang. I just didn't understand why you'd say bench Aubameyang. You cannot bench Aubameyang. Okay, you can. Remember, you can. If it was like Klopp, a manager like the kind of Klopp, they would bench him. But I think, I know you guys said last time that you wouldn't want a manager who's afraid to make decisions. But I think like just benching Aubameyang would just bring a lot of problems to us. We'll start hearing stories of him and Arteta falling out. I don't want all those stories. And obviously, if you leave him on the bench, he won't get the goals. If you play him, he can keep on trying. And he's finally got the goals. That's like 3 goals in 2 games now. Maybe he needs to face Newcastle every time, because that's the team that he always scores against. Maybe he needs to face Newcastle every time. So Aubameyang, AJ, you've given him a what?
8.5.
WSR, Aubameyang?
I think with the Aubameyang decision in terms of benching him today or not benching him today, it was either pure masterclass from Arteta or he's very weak and that he got lucky. And I'm hoping it's the first one, because yes, I want Arteta out, but at the end of the day, all I want him to do is prove me wrong. I don't want him to fail. I want him to succeed. So again, I hope it was pure masterclass and that he just outsmarted everybody who said to bench him. But yeah, Aubameyang scored the goals. I mean, I'm not going to give him loads of credit, because at the end of the day, he's our captain. He's our top scorer last season. You know, we like to throw around that he's a golden boot winner and this and that. But this season, he hasn't backed that up. And like when he scored the first goal today, the first thing I said was, it's about time. Like I've been waiting for that kind of Aubameyang goal for a while. The one against Newcastle, like the last time, it was just a tap-in. Like I don't rate tap-in goals. And then again today, the second goal was another tap-in. So I'm really kind of just going off the first goal. And for that alone, I give him an 8. But yeah, as the captain, he needs to do more. What I will say about Aubameyang is there was 2 times in the game where Newcastle players elbowed our players in the face. And I think both times there should have been red cards. And I think Newcastle are very, very lucky to come out of the game with not even a single yellow card for those. But as a captain, you like if you've just seen your player get elbowed in the face, as a captain, the first thing you should be doing is getting in the face of the referee and telling him, you know, he's just elbowed the player, you send him off. And I see Grealish do this, you know, I see Henderson do this, but we don't ever see Aubameyang doing that. It's always either Xhaka, Luiz, or Tierney, which is why for me, either of those 3 are better captains. And, you know, again, Tierney for me still has to be captain, but I think that's, as a captain, he needs to improve that kind of thing, like the leadership and the stepping forward and kind of getting in the referee's face a bit more. But yeah, today's performance, it was good, so I give him an 8.
I think I'd already get over that, because I know Aubameyang wasn't made captain because of the way he talks to fellow players. I know he's made captain because he was scoring goals and he was leading by example on the pitch. So the only way you can get that captain that we want, of shouting at players and going to the referee and telling him this and that, is if we change the captain, because Aubameyang is not that kind of player. He's too playful, I'd say. He's just a nice guy. He's too nice to be like what you're asking for WSL. So answer that question quickly. Arteta out? Still Arteta out?
Yes. Yeah. And I think I'm going to be getting into mainly why very soon. But what I will say with Arteta, performances on the pitch, excellent. Off the pitch and certain other decisions are absolutely awful. Like they're getting they're getting overshadowed by the wins. And again, I want us to win every single game. But what I will say is, you look in the back room, you look at the Balogun situation, you look at the Ozil situation, and apparently with Pablo Mari, there's a lot of other stuff than just, oh, he's injured around that.
Because apparently, if he pays another game, we have to pay Flamengo £900,000. So that's got something to do with it. I'm pretty sure. I doubt.
And I'm looking at all this stuff, and I think he's just lying through his teeth.
I've seen Mari in training pictures before the Crystal Palace game. I do not believe a word of this.
His press conferences are just as worse as Wenger's. He goes in there, he doesn't answer the questions that we as fans want answered. He answers the questions that make him look good. And he just
okay. Just
what I will say is though, I shout him out. I shout Arteta out because it was a good performance today.
Okay, we'll do it after Lacazette. Lacazette, AJ.
Lacazette. I thought he played quite well today. I think as a hold-up player, I think he did very well. In terms of like the headers won and things like that, I thought he did very well. Those little things. Obviously, he didn't get a goal or anything, but again, he's one of them players. Sometimes he doesn't get many chances, but I'll give a 7 for his contribution today.
7, Vanessa.
Yeah, virtually the same thing. He didn't score, which I think you said this, Glenn. I'm slightly sad. I think he deserved a goal today. His performance deserved a goal. But at the end of the day, Lacazette's happy that we win, which is all you can ask as a player. You know, he doesn't really care if he scores or not. He just cares about winning the game. And I think, just like Crystal Palace, I don't think he was bad. I think he was just not good enough to score. But yeah, he gets a 7.
7, okay. And then AJ Lacazette.
I gave him a 7.
7. I don't know if it was a performance for 7. I don't know, but maybe because it was a positive performance from everyone. Maybe that's fair enough. And then from the bench, AJ Mohamed El-Neni.
I think for all 3 of them, they didn't have much significant contribution because we were just trying to play around. We didn't have any more chances, so I wouldn't really mark all the 3 of them. I wouldn't. I don't think either 3 of them had much of a contribution other than pass it around, control the game. So yeah, 5s if you want
to. 5 for El-Neni and 5 for Martinelli. But Willian, I do have a lot of bias towards Willian. However, I know I'm not the only one. He was once again awful. He gets a 1. And the reason why he gets a 1, not a 0, is because we won the game. But what annoys me about Willian is not just Willian, it's Arteta, because we have Pepe on the bench, we have Martinelli on the bench, we could be putting Nelson on the bench, or we could even be looking at any other youth winger or anyone like along those lines on the bench, yet we still put Willian on the bench. And I don't understand that. Like, as I understand that we have a lot of frustration around Pepe, but I'd much rather see Pepe come on than Willian, because I know Pepe can at least get better, whereas Willian is 32 years old. He ain't going to get any better. So my thing for that is, just imagine if you were Nicolas Pepe, you sat on the bench against Newcastle. You sat on the bench against Newcastle. You're 3-0 up, and Willian is being brought on instead of you. Like, you're going to be fuming. You're going to be thinking, why am I at this club? And a lot of people are saying we should sell him. I don't think it's going to be a matter of us wanting to sell him. I think he's just going to want to leave. And I think Pepe really can be a good player for the club. And I think if he does leave, he will become a very good player somewhere else. So whether that's why he does leave or whether he doesn't, but yeah, Willian, the free kick. What I will say with the free kick is,
I was really hoping it goes in.
I really wanted it to go in. Like, I really wanted it to go in. Yeah, and I think it's just unlucky. But what I will say with Willian is, I think the reason why he played today is he's actually now the highest, like, he's got the most appearances of any Brazilian player in the Premier League ever. So I think that's kind of one of the only reasons he actually played today. But I mean, congratulations to him, for that. That's a good record. He's obviously been playing in the Prem a lot, but I'm just kind of hoping he can bring some of that Chelsea form to Arsenal.
Listen, for Willian, if he comes in whenever we are 2-0 or 3-0 ahead, I don't care. As long as it's not 1-0 or 0-0, whenever he wants to bring him on, as long as you're 3-0 ahead, it's okay. But where I don't agree with you is, as I've always told you guys, right now, Pepe, Willian, Nelson, they're all on the same level. They're all not impressing me right now.
I kind of agree with you.
Pepe, when he comes in, he does the same thing as Willian does.
I'm done with Willian and Nelson. But I'll still give Pepe a chance, because I
agree with you. They're all on the same level of frustration, but the difference between the 3 of them is Willian's 32 years old, Nelson isn't, and either is Pepe. So Pepe and Nelson can come on the pitch and they can maybe, change something. They can learn like Saka and Smith Rowe are doing when they play. Whereas Willian, he's 32 years old. He's not going to learn anything new. He's just going to carry on doing what he's doing. So I think, again, Willian himself wasn't bad today. It's more the fact that he came on over a Pepe or a Nelson.
I always protect Willian. Believe me, maybe he's just trying to adapt to English football. Give him time. Give him time. Give him time. The last one is going to be Mikel Arteta. AJ. Now you can rant as much as you want about Arteta.
I have to go in a few minutes anyway, so I'm not gonna rant too long. We can keep that for tomorrow's show. But Arteta still out. 6 results won't fool me. I think anyone who was Arteta out before that Chelsea game and is now Arteta in, I would call you nothing but delusional. I'm sorry, but you can't keep flip-flopping between on or out. You have to keep with your position. After the Aston Villa game, I tapped out on him. I said, nah, I can't have any more of this anymore. Some of the decisions, like WSL has already mentioned, are not good enough. Some of the man management especially, I think that's one of the reasons the players at Manchester United haven't down tools on Solskjaer, because how good his man management is. I think if you put Arteta and Solskjaer together, you'd have a pretty good manager, I'll be honest with you. But again, on Arteta, let's just see how it goes, because we're 10th now. We're 7 points off top 4. We have Southampton next in the league. Then we have Manchester United, do we? Manchester United. And then, we go from there. So we'll just have to take it game by game, see where we are. And then obviously Europa League and FA Cup to go. So, we'll just have to see. But Arteta out.
Okay, WSL, you had me mention it earlier. We, apart from Tottenham and City, we have the best defensive record. I mean, that is a positive. Under Wenger, we used to concede 4s and 5s and 6s and 7s and 8s. These days, you never see us conceding that many goals. It's 19 goals we've conceded less than. It's only 2 teams that have conceded more than us, or less than us.
I don't put that down to Arteta though. What I will say is, if you look at the last 6 games you've played, or the 5 games you've played in the Premier League, no, we'll say 6. You include Chelsea as well. So. We conceded 1 goal, which is incredible, yes. However, look at your Cities and your Liverpools who are below us in the defensive records. Who have they played in the last 6 games? When we go against Southampton and United and Liverpool and Tottenham again, we're going to dwindle, because we ain't going to keep clean sheets.
No, but both teams have played the same. Both teams have played every team.
No, I know, but I mean, like, you got to look at the last 5 games. Like, you've just got to go game by game, I think, on that kind of record. And I think we will concede goals. But what I will say is, yes, we have gotten defensively better. But I don't fully put that down to Arteta. I think if Emery had a Gabriel and a fully fit Tierney, he probably would have had the same defensive record.
We would have got third. If we had Gabriel, Tierney, Partey.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a question, WSL. Who do you put the not scoring goals to? Whose fault is that?
I mean, you've got to put that down to a lot of people. The goals not being scored before Chelsea, because I think after Chelsea we've been scoring a lot. I think Aubameyang's been playing poor. Lacazette was poor. Again, you can't rely on Saka and Smith Rowe and Martinelli to score the goals for you, because that's not what they're there to do. They're there to learn and get better. But at the end of the day, you've got to look at the manager at first, because he hires the staff that train these guys, that look after these guys. And what I will say is, our set piece coach needs sacking immediately. There was a corner today where I think 6 of our players were basically kissing Carl Darlow.
Today, the last 5
it was
this is frustrating.
Our set piece coach is a joke, and he needs to go immediately. And what annoys me more is Arteta was bigging this guy up. He was like, "Oh, we came from Brentford."
Sure he came from Brentford.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, we came from Brentford. They've scored a lot of goals from set pieces." But where's ours? I ain't seen us score a corner in ages. We scored more corners under Emery than under Arteta, and the only one we scored under Arteta was Gabriel's in the first game of the season, where Fulham were absolutely awful. They were the worst team I think I've ever seen in Premier League history at that point. Like, they were awful on that first game. But again, Arteta was good today. He made the right substitutions, except Willian. he had those last late minute injuries with Ceballos and Mari still being out. He risked playing Partey and Tierney. It paid off. They're both fine. They're not injured. I think taking Partey off was a great decision, because if he got injured again, I don't even know what I'd have done, to be honest. But we got the win. And again, when we lose, I'll blame Arteta. When we win, I'll put it on Arteta. Explain to me how anyone's going to score from that.
It's like a club.
I just don't get how you're scoring from that.
Look at Xhaka. He looks like he's about to punch Lascelles.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Xhaka was touching Caldalo at one point, which you can't touch the keeper during a corner. Like you can't do that. That's not how that works.
Social distancing at its best.
But yeah,
we have a problem with set piece coaching.
When it comes to ratings, I'll give Arteta a 6 simply because we won. He made the right substitutions, but Willian coming on the pitch knocks him down 3 marks, dude. I do not like seeing this guy on the team. Never mind actually in the on the bench. I don't even like seeing him there. But I still want Arteta out, and the only way Arteta can change my mind is if he gets top 4 or if he wins the Europa League. And if he doesn't do either of them, he's got to go.
Wow. For Shiz is a West Ham fan, I definitely want your set piece coach. The likes of Aubameyang attack balls. I absolutely love it. AJ90, your final one, Arteta rating?
Today for Arteta, I'll give him a 7. I thought he brought in Cedric. That was good. Tactically, we did all right. But some of the man manager, as I said, needs to improve. Like the substitution of Willian, we could have brought on Pepe. Like WSL's said already, but 7.
Wow, man of the match for you? You said Pat, and WSL said Smith Rowe. And last question: next game against Southampton in the FA Cup, would you change the whole team WSL, or would you keep the same team?
Well, we don't know if it's Southampton yet. Don't put Shrewsbury in the Shrewsbury could come through and they could get the win. But yeah, let's be honest, it probably will be Southampton. But
you could have another Cops there. You never know.
I really hate saying this because as a manager, you can't do this. But I want to see what Southampton do. Are they going to go strong or are they going to go weak? And I think that kind of depends on what we should do. Obviously, you can't predict that. So I think we've got to go a bit in the middle. I want to see Smith Rowe and Saka on the bench again. Maybe bring them on late on. I want to see Aubameyang starting because I just want Aubameyang. Dude, Willian, he should be in the under-21s. He's not even good enough for under-23s, but I want to see Aubameyang start, and I think a lot of people are going to say he shouldn't, but he came off today early, which makes me think that he is being saved. He needs to carry on playing, and he needs to carry on scoring. I want to see Pepe play. I want to see players like... I was about to say Runason then, but no, Leno can stay in goal.
Oh, no.
I don't want to see that guy anywhere near those.
I love the competition. But I rather actually play Runason in the league game because I love the FA Cup too much for us to go out. Like, please, no, Runason. Leno has to play every single game. How about you, AJ?
I think this game is going to be the last game for certain players to prove themselves. And what I mean by this is we don't have these games against Dundalk and Molde anymore. They're gone. We've got Benfica next in the Europa League, which is going to be a difficult match. We've got Southampton and then probably Wolves after in the FA Cup. And then after that,
you can't rule out Chorley. Come on, you can't rule out Chorley.
Yeah. I won't rule out Chorley yet, but if we do beat Southampton and Shrewsbury, and then we do beat Wolves or Chorley, I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be great, Shrewsbury and Chorley.
I wouldn't
There's
be surprised.
A possibility.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get like Man United afterwards because that's just our cup.
That's just our luck. That's just our luck.
But yeah, so there's not these games to play your Willocks and your Nelsons and that anymore. So if they want to break into the first team for the end of the season, if they want to be in the hopefully Europa League final team or the FA Cup semi-final team, then they have to perform in this next FA Cup game because this genuinely might be the last chance they get this season. Because after that the games get important. We can't risk losing them. And we can't risk players like Pepe coming on the pitch to do nothing. We can't risk that. So I'd switch it up.
AJ are not having it. They're not having it. So for me, I'd love it. It's actually crazy. We played Liverpool twice in a week. We've played Newcastle twice in a week. We have the possibility of playing Southampton twice in 3 days and Wolves twice in 4 days if we both win our FA Cup game. So
I'm not scared of Southampton than Wolves, to be honest. I'm not scared of Wolves at all.
Wolves definitely. That's because also of their injuries and stuff. Southampton actually scare me. We have a terrible record at St. Mary's. So
Danny
the
Ings
final
will probably
question from the
score a
chat,
hat-trick,
AJ, Fushizi wants us to answer that question. Final position for Arsenal in the season?
7th.
7th, WSL?
Since in that I know we're not going to make any signings in January because we're Arsenal, I'm going to go 8th.
We are. I think we are. I think
I highly doubt it.
I doubt it.
I think
I doubt it.
I
the
doubt
way
it.
we're getting rid of
price
players
is 40 to 50 million.
I think without
not 50 million
signings,
player.
40 to 50 million. That's what I'm hearing.
Without signings, I'm saying 7th to 8th. I really hope 6th, just so we can get back in the Europa League in case we don't get.
I'd rather not be in the Europa League for another year. Just leave it. Focus on the league. Get back into the Champions League.
I think for me, it more depends who we have as manager. If we get rid of Arteta now and we get an Allegri or someone like that in,
Simeone,
propel ourselves to top 4. You don't even know. But with Arteta,
and Allegri.
higher than 6th. I'd love Simeone, but the dude's top in La Liga. He ain't leaving for anything.
He said he might leave at the end of the season. He said he might.
And if it comes to Arsenal, he will sell Partey because they don't like each other anymore. Remember that. If he comes to Arsenal, he will sell Thomas Partey immediately. So, you've said WSL what position again? Sorry.
Between 7th and 8th. I can't really make a decision.
Okay, so this guy's Arteta out. You all know Arteta in. So I'd say I said 6th. So I'm gonna stick with 6th. Hopefully. Make sure you check out AJ90's channel. I'll be there on tomorrow. What time?
1:30.
1:30 UK time. Thank you for coming on in WSL. Does women's content, Arsenal women's drew with Reading 1-1 last night, and he is going to have a match review for that. So if you are interested in that, make sure you check that out. Thank you guys for coming on as usual. I really appreciate it. And in the chats, everyone, Fushizi, Cookie, IK Sweetie, Dinero, and everyone else who came on, I appreciate it. 3-0 win over Newcastle. Arteta in with the WSL and AG90, like it or not. We got another victory over Newcastle. That's 5 clean sheets in a row. That is title winning form. Another 10 clean sheets and you're winning the league. Forget about 7th position. So thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.